I realize there are a few things I forgot to actually deal with in this beta, and they have to do with Amazing Arena, in fact. You'll notice that the music is, in fact, the final version stuff when the lights are off. And obviously that's because the switches have been implemented. However, for some reason they still don't change the sound. So it gets rather grating. You'll see that sound effects for the platforms and stuff still haven't actually been added. And I'm going to take you over here. I actually didn't bother to check in the previous build if he was there or not, but from what I saw, this guy's attack pattern is just completely bizarre, see? I think I can't really get past here now at this point, like... See, he just kind of waves his arms and is all like, "Hey, look at me, I'm waving my arms, doodly, doodly, wee, waving my arms, I should be cutting off my head like that." And so, yeah, you just run out of time, and I think that's really it. There's nothing else you can do there. And I'm going to go back and restart this again, and I'm just going to see what will happen if we trigger it without triggering the switch. Okay, haven't triggered the light switch. Hold on, there we go. Gotta actually switch to the emulator so that it's open. And we haven't triggered the switch, and do we get the error message this time? Nope, still no error message. We get to finish the level regardless of hitting the switch. The only thing that changes, it seems, is that the Eggman dude doesn't actually ever do anything to you. Yeah, game over music still plays when you finish a level. Also, I think in both cases the conveyor belts don't work until you've actually started playing them in that level, like flipping the switch and stuff. So that's another thing that's to keep in mind. Outside of that, oh yes, there is one other thing. This isn't accessible in the 11 version, but this is in this January 19th version. The credits. It's rather odd. That should say executive producer. I'm not sure. I don't think I've ever seen the graphics glitch up like that before. Anyway, you get this, and you get the regular credits music playing like. So that's that. And hold on a second. You'll also see, and this is the case in the previous build as well, like pretty much all of them. This says try and error instead of trial and error. All of these others are the same combination instead of combination. Crystal Nightmare is misspelled as well. I think Child Song has an apostrophe in the final. That's, I think, the same. Surprise is, again, misspelled. Oriental Legend in the 11 build is actually not playable. I didn't bother to show you that. But in here it is, actually. The other thing is that in these builds, all of the PWM sounds are pretty much the same as in the final, so... Assuming they're actually active? Yeah, they are active, they're just not simply displayed. And so, good ending is, this is actually called Tribute in the final version. It plays when it shows you when you've got all of the rings at the end. It actually cuts off partway through, so this seems to suggest that, hey, maybe there was actually a little bit more to display, say, which is an interesting idea. Normal ending is bad ending, really, and Saffroll is the credits after the little ring showy thing that you got all the chaos rings at the end. And looking over everything, I don't think there's anything more that I have to show you. I think I already showed the general time attack. Oh, here's something I didn't show you yet. The time attack screen is different, and it seems to correspond to the 4 tutorial levels. Yeah, player selects the same, uses the music it should. I forget if it did in the previous build or not, but I think I showed you. Logos are what they are in the final. This is what you see when you play, like, in the monitors for switching characters. It'll go over each of these guys. And someone's trying to contact me on the Skype message board, something, or chat room. And wouldn't you know, this is in fact looking like one of the tutorial levels. And layout's different, to be certain. Well, actually, no, I guess it isn't. Not significantly, anyway. This actually looks like it does in the final. Um, hmm. I'll go debug mode it a little bit, see if in fact there are any flowers to trigger, or if this is all just like empty-ish space. Like, I think it's empty space, and you'd be stuck here forever, really, because there's absolutely no way to get a game over since you can't do it by rings, and apparently there's no time limit either yet. So that's that. Um, Anything else to show? Also, I forget if I mentioned, whoops, got ahead of myself. Once again, got ahead of myself. Go back to time attack. Heavy and bomb are listed as the Eggman's mechanics. In the final version, there's some text, like for selecting the characters, that say Heavy the mechanic and Bomb the mechanic. Now, one of the things that you'll be interested to note is that neither of them are actually selectable from that screen, so it's rather odd that they'd still include it, even though they're selectable here. Now, yeah, Bomb still has his usual flaws, and Heavy does as well, I assume. You can't jump, spin dash, or do anything remotely resembling a wall climb, thus making this completely impossible. Also, I do believe that I selected the first one, and yet this looks suspiciously like the third isolated island level. So yeah, all of these seem to have the final music for Electoria so far as well. So, seems like the Crackers music was only used in Crackers, because I think there are relatively few intermediate builds then, unless there are some things from even earlier that we're missing. Which is highly unlikely, as that realm was dated on April 1st of 1994. So, that's it, really. There's nothing much more for me to show you about these, this proto anyway. Oh no, I guess I did select the third one. Even though I selected this as the second, this is actually the first one in the final game. And there's no spring there. Also no plane switcher, it looks like, so that's rather weird then. Let me see if I can, there we go, that works fine. And yet we've got to do that. That's a rather odd element in level design that I'm fairly glad they changed, as that's rather counterintuitive and certainly goes against having speed. Looks like these water slides are in, and there are a few more of them than there were in the fall, from what it looks like. Yep. Absolutely nothing to do plane switching, so I guess save time. We'll go up here and see what happens if we continue on. So yeah. I would assume there are probably a couple of changes here and there in level design, but nothing too significant. Also, I definitely like the behavior of these a bit more now, it seems. They work a little bit friendlier. Or maybe not. Maybe I'm just going insane. But, yeah, that is that. So, I'm gonna see if we can actually finish the level. I don't think the end of level flower is there. Nope. I think that's it. And what happens if we go past here? I bet the level just, yep, wraps on itself. Same thing as you'll see in a bunch of other prototypes, or if you even just use debug mode, say in Sonic 3 or Sonic & Knuckles. You get just the level wrapping around itself partly at the end. So, yeah, that is finally everything I think that needs to be said about the January prototypes for Chaotix.